The sound of sneakers squeaking on the hardwood floor of the community center grated against Tyler Thompson's already frayed nerves as he rushed through the double doors, 5 minutes late to his daughter's dance recital. In his hand, a slightly wilted bouquet of pink carnations Lily's favorite bobbed with each hurried step. The weight of his week unpaid bills, reduced hours at the construction site, and the air conditioner in his 10-year-old sedan finally giving up momentarily lifted at the thought of his 7-year-old daughter's face when she would spot him in the audience. "Sorry, excuse me," Tyler whispered as he navigated the rows of folding chairs, searching for an empty seat in the packed room. His work boots, which he hadn't had time to change out of after his shift ran long, felt impossibly loud against the linoleum floor. A quick glance at the stage confirmed he hadn't missed Lily's group yet. The 5-year-olds were still twirling in their butterfly costumes, some more successfully than others. The only available seat was next to a woman whose elegant posture and designer clothes made Tyler acutely aware of his faded jeans and the sawdust still clinging to his T-shirt. But beggars couldn't be choosers, and he'd promised Lily he wouldn't miss a second of her performance. "Is this seat taken?" he asked in a hushed tone. The woman looked up, and Tyler found himself momentarily stunned by clear hazel eyes that crinkled slightly at the corners when she smiled. "Not at all," she whispered back, shifting her purse to make room for him. "Thanks," Tyler said, settling into the metal folding chair that was clearly not designed for his 6'2" frame. The carnations rested awkwardly on his lap, a few petals already scattered on his jeans. "Which one is yours?" The woman's smile faltered slightly. "Oh, I don't actually have a child performing. I'm here for—" She hesitated, "professional reasons." Tyler nodded, though he couldn't imagine what professional reason would bring someone to a children's dance recital in the community center of their modest suburb. Before he could ponder it further, the 5-year-olds took their final bow, and the stage was reset for the 7 to 8-year-old group. "That's my daughter," Tyler whispered proudly as Lily took her position with the other girls in their pale blue tutus. "The one with the red hair on the end." The woman followed his gaze to where Lily stood, her copper curls pulled back into a bun that was already coming loose. "She looks like you," she observed with a genuine smile. Tyler felt a surge of pride wash over him. "Poor kid," he joked softly. The dance began, a simple ballet routine to Waltz of the Flowers. Tyler watched, transfixed, as Lily executed her steps with determined precision. She wasn't the most graceful dancer in the group. That honor belonged to a willowy blonde in the center, but she was by far the most enthusiastic. When Lily wobbled during a pirouette but caught herself with a beaming smile, Tyler heard the woman beside him catch her breath. "She's remarkable," she whispered. "Such perseverance." "That's my girl," Tyler replied, his chest tight with emotion. "Never gives up." As the routine concluded and the girls took their bows, Tyler rose to his feet, applauding loudly. "That's my Lily," he called, holding up the carnations. Lily's face lit up when she spotted him, and she waved excitedly from the stage. Tyler turned to find the mysterious woman also standing, clapping with genuine enthusiasm. "She was wonderful," she told him. "You must be very proud." "Proudest dad in the room," Tyler confirmed. "I'm Tyler, by the way, Tyler Thompson." "Wendy Evans," she replied, extending a manicured hand that Tyler shook with his calloused one. "It was nice meeting you, Tyler. I should get going." Dad, Lily's voice cut through the crowd as she bounded toward him, tutu bouncing with each step. "Did you see me?" "Did you see when I almost fell but didn't?" Tyler scooped her up, her small body fitting perfectly in his arms. "I saw everything, princess. You were amazing." He presented her with the slightly crushed carnations. "These are for the star dancer." Lily buried her nose in the flowers, then looked over at Wendy with curious eyes. "Who's that, Dad?" "This is Miss Evans," Tyler said, suddenly realizing he hadn't caught her first name. "She was just telling me what a great dancer you are." Wendy smiled warmly at Lily. "You have real talent." "I especially loved how you recovered from that wobble. That's what real dancers do." Lily beamed at the praise. "Are you a dancer too?" Something flickered across Wendy's face. "Nostalgia, perhaps. I was a long time ago, but now I just help dancers." "Miss Evans has to go now, Tyler explained, noting her glances toward the exit. But maybe we'll see her again sometime. It was lovely meeting you both, Wendy said, her eyes lingering on Tyler for just a moment longer than necessary. Congratulations again, Lily. As she walked away, Tyler couldn't help but notice how she moved with the same grace as the dancers on stage, her steps light and purposeful. He felt a strange twinge of regret that their brief encounter was ending. "Dad, can we get ice cream?" Lily asked, breaking his reverie. "Miss Jacobs said we could have treats after the recital." Tyler mentally calculated the cash in his wallet enough for a small cone for Lily, at least. "Sure thing, sweetheart, you definitely earned it." As they headed toward the lobby where a local ice cream shop had set up a small stand, Tyler spotted Wendy again, deep in conversation with Miss Jacobs, the dance instructor. Curious, he steered Lily in that direction. "Mr. Thompson," Miss Jacobs called when she saw them. "Lily was spectacular today, wasn't she?" "She sure was," Tyler agreed, ruffling his daughter's hair. "We're just headed for that ice cream you promised." Miss Jacobs beamed. "Well, before you go, I wanted to introduce you to Miss Evans. She's the CEO of Prima Dance Academy, and she's considering our community center for a scholarship program." Tyler blinked, processing this information as he looked at Wendy with new eyes. A CEO. The woman who had sat beside him in her simple, albeit expensive-looking, black dress was a CEO of a dance academy. "We've actually met," Wendy said, her cheeks coloring slightly. "I had the pleasure of watching Lily perform from beside her very proud father. Miss Evans thinks I'm a real dancer," Lily announced proudly. Wendy nodded. "I do indeed. In fact, I was just telling Miss Jacobs that Prima Dance Academy is launching a scholarship program for promising young dancers, and we're looking to partner with community centers like this one." Her eyes met Tyler's. "Talent and determination like Lily's is exactly what we're looking for." Tyler's heart raced. Lily had been begging for more dance classes, but on his budget as a single father working construction, the once weekly community center class was all he could afford. That would be amazing," he managed. "Lily lives for dance." "Why don't you bring her to our open house next Saturday?" Wendy suggested, pulling a business card from her purse and handing it to Tyler. "No pressure, just a chance to see the academy and meet some of our instructors." Tyler took the card, noting the embossed gold logo. "We'll be there," he promised, knowing he'd move heaven and earth to make it happen for Lily. Wendy's smile brightened. "Wonderful. And now, I believe someone was promised ice cream." Lily tugged at Tyler's hand. "Come on, Dad, I want strawberry." As they walked toward the ice cream stand, Tyler glanced back to see Wendy watching them, a thoughtful expression on her face. He tucked her business card carefully into his wallet, right next to the $5 bill that would have to stretch for both their ice creams. The Prima Dance Academy was housed in a converted warehouse in the Arts District, its industrial exterior belying the state-of-the-art studios within. Tyler parked his sedan between sleek SUVs and luxury sedans, feeling out of place but determined not to show it. For Lily's sake, he'd walk into the fanciest place in the world with his head held high. "Dad, I'm nervous," Lily confessed as they approached the entrance, her small hand clutching his tightly. She was wearing her best leotard, a hand-me-down from a neighbor's daughter, carefully mended where the seam had started to split. "Nothing to be nervous about, Princess," Tyler assured her, kneeling down to her level. "You're just going to dance, and that's what you love to do, right?" Lily nodded, her copper curls bouncing. "What if the other kids are better than me?" "Then you'll learn from them," Tyler said. "And they'll learn from your big heart and determination. That's what Miss Evans saw in you, remember?" The mention of Wendy seemed to bolster Lily's courage. "Okay, Dad. I'm ready." The interior of the academy took Tyler's breath away, soaring ceilings, gleaming floors, and walls of mirrors reflecting the natural light that poured through massive windows. Several dance studios branched off from the main lobby, each filled with children of various ages practicing under the watchful eyes of instructors. "Welcome to Prima Dance Academy," a receptionist greeted them warmly. "Are you here for the open house?" "Yes, Tyler, Lily, you made it." Wendy's voice cut through the bustle of the lobby as she approached them. Dressed in slim black pants and a crisp white blouse, her blonde hair pulled back in a neat ponytail. She looked every bit the successful CEO, yet her smile held the same warmth it had at the community center. "Miss Evans." Lily exclaimed, some of her nervousness falling away. "Please call me Wendy," she insisted, crouching down to Lily's level. "I'm so glad you could come today. Would you like to join a trial class with our instructor, Miss Patel? She's working with dancers your age on a really fun routine." Lily looked up at Tyler, who nodded encouragingly. "Go ahead, Lily Pad. Show him what you got." After Lily was settled in the class, Wendy offered Tyler a tour of the facilities. "We have 5 studios, a physical therapy room, costume shop, and a small performance space," she explained as they walked. "We believe in nurturing the whole dancer mind, body, and spirit." "It's incredible," Tyler admitted, watching through a window as Lily followed along with the routine, her face a mask of concentration. "But I have to be honest, Wendy, a place like this, it's not exactly in my budget." Wendy stopped walking and turned to face him. "That's exactly why we're launching the scholarship program. Dance shouldn't only be accessible to those who can afford it." "And you think Lily could qualify?" Tyler asked, trying not to sound too hopeful. "I know she could," Wendy said firmly. "What she lacks in technical training, she makes up for in passion and determination. Those qualities are harder to teach than a perfect plie." Tyler felt a lump form in his throat. "She gets that from her mother," he said quietly. Rachel was the same way, unstoppable once she set her mind to something. Wendy asked gently. "She passed away when Lily was 3, cancer." The word still felt jagged in his mouth even after 4 years. "It's been just me and Lily since then." Wendy's hand touched his arm briefly, a gesture of genuine sympathy. "I'm so sorry, Tyler. Raising her alone, especially while working construction, that can't be easy." Tyler shrugged, uncomfortable with sympathy. "We make it work. Some months are tighter than others, but Lily never goes without the important stuff." "Like dance," Wendy observed. "Like dance," Tyler agreed. "It's her connection to Rachel. My wife was a dancer too, not professionally, but she loved it. Always said dancing made her feel alive." Wendy's eyes softened. "Lily has that same spark. I recognized it immediately at the recital." Tyler was about to respond when Lily's class ended, and she came bounding over to them, face flushed with exertion and excitement. "Dad, Miss Wendy, did you see? I learned a whole new combination in just one class." "You were fantastic," Wendy praised. "Miss Patel was very impressed with how quickly you picked up the choreography." Lily beamed. "Can I come back again? Please, Dad?" Tyler hesitated, not wanting to make promises he couldn't keep. "We'll talk about it, Princess." "Actually," Wendy interjected, "I was hoping both of you might join me for lunch. There's a great cafe next door, and we can discuss the scholarship program in more detail." Over sandwiches and lemonade, Wendy explained how the scholarship would work full tuition for 2 classes per week, including summer intensives and performance opportunities. Tyler listened carefully, asking thoughtful questions while Lily chattered excitedly about the new friends she'd made in class. "The only requirement is consistent attendance and maintaining good grades in school," Wendy concluded. "We want our dancers to be well-rounded individuals." "That sounds reasonable," Tyler agreed, still slightly dazed by the opportunity being presented to them. "But why Lily? I mean, I know she's talented, but there must be dozens of kids who could benefit from this program." Wendy considered his question for a moment. "Do you want the official answer or the real one?" Tyler smiled. "The real one, please. The truth is, I see myself in her." Wendy's gaze drifted to Lily, who was happily drawing ballet dancers on her paper placemat. "I grew up in a single-parent household, too. My father worked 2 jobs to keep me in dance classes because he saw how much I loved it. If not for a similar scholarship program, I never would have been able to continue training at the level I needed to eventually become professional." "You were a professional dancer?" Tyler asked, intrigued. Wendy nodded. "With the National Ballet for 6 years, until a knee injury ended my performing career. That's when I went back to school, got my MBA, and eventually started Prima. I wanted to create opportunities for children who might otherwise miss out on quality dance education." Tyler felt a new respect blooming for this woman who had transformed her own setback into something positive for others. That's really admirable. It's also selfish, Wendy admitted with a self-deprecating smile. I get to remain connected to the world I love. And occasionally, I discover a dancer like Lily who reminds me why it all matters. Their eyes met across the table, and Tyler felt something shift between them, a connection deeper than their mutual interest in Lily's dance future. He quickly looked away, suddenly conscious of the grease under his fingernails and the worn cuffs of his shirt. So, what do you say? Wendy asked, turning to include Lily in the conversation. Would you like to join our Prima family, Miss Lily? Yes, 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 Lily bounced in her seat. Can I, Dad, please? Tyler swallowed hard, emotion threatening to overwhelm him. If you're sure she qualifies, then yes. Thank you, Wendy. This means more than you know. The pleasure is all mine, Wendy replied, her smile radiant. Classes start next week, and Tyler, she hesitated. We always need help with set construction for our performances. If you're ever interested in picking up some extra work, it pays well. Pride warred with practicality in Tyler's mind. The extra income would be a blessing, especially with winter coming and the construction work slowing down. And if he was honest with himself, the thought of seeing more of Wendy Evans was appealing in ways he hadn't anticipated. I might just take you up on that, he said finally. As they walked back to their car, Lily skipping ahead with her new Prima Dance Academy t-shirt clutched to her chest, Tyler found himself wondering if the flutter in his stomach was gratitude or something else entirely. The fall months passed in a blur of activity as Lily threw herself into her new dance classes with characteristic enthusiasm. The scholarship covered everything as promised: tuition, dancewear, even the fees for the winter showcase where Lily would perform a solo for the first time. Tyler, true to his word, began helping with set construction on weekends, his skilled carpentry transforming abstract designs into magical backdrops for the dancers. It was during these weekend sessions that Tyler and Wendy began to develop a friendship. She often brought coffee for the volunteer crew, but somehow always managed to find Tyler first, remembering exactly how he took his black with 1 sugar. They would talk while he worked about Lily's progress, about the upcoming showcase, and gradually about their own lives. Tyler learned that despite her success, Wendy lived alone in a converted loft downtown, that she had a weakness for old movies and spicy food, that she worked 70-hour weeks but never missed Sunday dinner with her father. In turn, he found himself sharing stories about his life with Rachel, about the challenges and joys of raising Lily alone, about his dreams of one day starting his own construction business. You should do it, Wendy told him one Saturday in late November as they sat on the half-built castle set, taking a break. Start your own business, I mean. Your work is exceptional, Tyler. You have a real eye for detail. Tyler laughed, though her praise warmed him. Right, because banks are lining up to give loans to guys like me with mediocre credit and no collateral. You'd be surprised what's possible with the right business plan, Wendy replied. I could help you put one together if you wanted. Tyler studied her face, searching for pity but finding only sincere belief in his abilities. It was disarming, the way she saw potential in him that he'd long ago stopped seeing in himself. Why would you do that? Wendy looked away, suddenly interested in the paint swatches in her hand. Because I believe in you, the same way I believed in Lily when I saw her dance. You Thompsons have a way of proving yourselves worth betting on. Before Tyler could respond, his phone rang. The babysitter he'd hired for Lily was calling to say she had come down with a stomach bug and wouldn't be able to watch Lily that evening. Everything okay? Wendy asked, noting his frown. Just a childcare issue, Tyler sighed, running a hand through his hair. My sitter's sick and I'm supposed to finish a job tonight for a client who's already rescheduled twice. I could watch Lily, Wendy offered without hesitation. Tyler blinked in surprise. But it's Saturday night. Don't CEOs have, I don't know, charity galas or something? Wendy laughed. Not this CEO. Tonight's big plans involve takeout and budget reviews. Spending time with Lily sounds much more appealing. Are you sure? She can be a handful. Positive. We'll have a girls' night, pizza, nail polish, and maybe I can help her practice her solo for the showcase. Tyler hesitated only briefly before accepting her offer. You're a lifesaver, Wendy, truly. That evening, as he drove to his client's home to install custom bookshelves, Tyler found himself thinking about Wendy and Lily together in his small apartment, imagining their laughter, their shared love of dance creating an easy bond between them. The thought brought a smile to his face and a strange ache to his chest. When he returned home just after 9, he found his apartment tidier than he'd left it, with the smell of pizza lingering in the air. Wendy was sitting on the couch with Lily curled against her side, both of them asleep, as the credits of a movie rolled on the television. Lily's fingernails were painted a shimmering blue, matching the polish on Wendy's own nails. The scene before him felt so right, so natural that it took his breath away. For the first time since Rachel's death, Tyler could imagine a future that included someone else in their lives, not replacing Rachel, but creating something new, something healing for all of them. Wendy stirred as he closed the door, her eyes blinking open. "Hey," she whispered, careful not to disturb Lily. "How did the job go?" "Great," Tyler whispered back, moving to gently lift Lily into his arms. "Let me put her to bed and then I'll drive you home." When he returned from tucking Lily in, Wendy was in the kitchen, washing the few dishes they'd used. The domesticity of the scene made Tyler's heart constrict. "You didn't have to do that," he said softly, taking a clean dish towel to dry the plates she'd washed. "I don't mind. Lily and I had fun." "She's an amazing kid, Tyler." "I know," he agreed, pride evident in his voice. "Thank you for tonight, you really saved me." Wendy turned to face him, their proximity in the small kitchen suddenly apparent. "It was my pleasure, truly." In the quiet of the kitchen, with only the hum of the refrigerator and the distant sound of Lily's soft snoring, something shifted between them. Tyler found himself looking at Wendy's lips, wondering how they would feel against his own, then immediately chastising himself for the thought. She was Lily's benefactor, his boss in a way, and so far out of his league that it seemed absurd to even consider. But then Wendy stepped closer, her hand coming to rest lightly on his chest. "Tyler," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, "I'd like to kiss you, if that's okay." Tyler felt a rush of heat flood his face. "Are you sure? I mean and I'm—" Wendy smiled, understanding his unspoken concerns. "I'm just a woman who's falling for a remarkable man who happens to be the father of an equally remarkable little girl. The rest is just details." Tyler's doubts dissolved as Wendy rose on her tiptoes, her lips meeting his in a kiss that was gentle but filled with promise. His hands found her waist, drawing her closer as the kiss deepened, years of loneliness melting away in the warmth of their connection. When they finally pulled apart, both slightly breathless, Tyler rested his forehead against hers. "I should probably tell you," he murmured. "I haven't done this in a long time, dating, I mean." "Neither have I," Wendy admitted. "My work usually comes first. But recently, I've been thinking that maybe I've been missing out on the things that matter most." Tyler tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, marveling at the softness of her skin. "I'd like to take you on a proper date, somewhere nice." "I'd like that too," Wendy replied. "But Tyler, it doesn't have to be somewhere nice. I just want to spend time with you. The location doesn't matter." As winter melted into spring, Tyler and Wendy's relationship blossomed alongside Lily's dancing. They kept things low-key at first, careful to consider Lily's feelings above all else. Their early dates were simple coffee after Lily's classes, walks in the park while Lily rode her bike ahead of them, movie nights at Tyler's apartment with Lily falling asleep between them on the couch. Gradually, as Lily grew comfortable with Wendy's presence in their lives, they began to explore a deeper relationship. Tyler introduced Wendy to his parents, who immediately embraced her warmth and genuineness. Wendy, in turn, brought Tyler to Sunday dinner with her father, a retired firefighter whose approval meant the world to her. It was on a rainy April evening, nearly 6 months after they'd met, that Tyler realized he was in love with Wendy Evans. They were at her loft, Lily having a sleepover with Tyler's parents, cooking dinner together while music played softly in the background. Wendy was telling him about a difficult board meeting, gesturing animatedly with a wooden spoon, her face alight with passion for her work. "I love you," Tyler said, the words escaping before he could consider them. He froze, spatula in hand, surprised by his own declaration. Wendy stopped mid-sentence, her eyes widening. Then slowly, a smile spread across her face, the same warm, genuine smile that had first captured his attention at the community center. "I love you too, Tyler," she replied, setting down her spoon and moving into his arms. "I think I have since that first day when you came rushing in late to Lily's recital with those poor crushed carnations." Tyler laughed, relief and joy flooding through him. "Not my smoothest moment." "It was perfect," Wendy insisted, rising up to kiss him. "You were perfect." As spring turned to summer, their lives became increasingly intertwined. Wendy helped Tyler develop a business plan for Thompson custom carpentry, even introducing him to a banker friend who approved a small business loan based on Tyler's portfolio and solid business strategy. Tyler, in turn, helped Wendy renovate a section of the academy to create a community performance space where dancers could showcase their work for free. Lily thrived under the combined attention of her father and Wendy, her dancing progressing remarkably. When she was cast as Clara in the Academy's winter production of The Nutcracker, her excitement was boundless. "Do you think Mom can see me from heaven?" she asked Tyler one night as he tucked her in, the question catching him off guard. "I know she can, Lily Pad," he assured her, smoothing her copper curls. "And she is so proud of you." Lily considered this for a moment. "Do you think she'd like Wendy?" Tyler's heart clenched. "I think she'd love that Wendy makes us both so happy." "I think so too," Lily decided. "Wendy says I dance like Mom did. She says she can see it in the way I move." Tyler swallowed the lump in his throat. "Wendy's right. You have your mother's spirit when you dance." On the opening night of The Nutcracker, Tyler sat in the front row, a bouquet of pink carnations, Lily's tradition, now in his lap. Wendy had insisted on sitting with the other parents rather than in the reserved section for staff, her hand clasped tightly in Tyler's as they waited for the curtain to rise. "Nervous?" Tyler asked, noting her tense posture. "Terrified," Wendy admitted with a soft laugh. "More than when I used to perform myself." "Is this what being a parent feels like all the time?" The question hung in the air between them, laden with meaning. Tyler squeezed her hand. "Pretty much, but the pride makes up for the terror." As they watched Lily dance the role she had worked so hard to perfect, Tyler felt a sense of completion he hadn't experienced since before Rachel's illness. His daughter was flourishing, his new business was growing steadily, and beside him sat a woman who had transformed their lives with her belief in them both. After the performance, as Lily accepted her carnations with a curtsy that made the audience chuckle appreciatively, Tyler turned to find Wendy watching him instead of Lily, her eyes soft with emotion. "What?" he asked. "I was just thinking how lucky I am," she said simply. "That day at the recital, I almost didn't go. I had a meeting scheduled, but something told me to keep that appointment with Miss Jacobs instead." "Divine intervention," Tyler suggested with a smile. "Or maybe Rachel, pulling strings from above to make sure Lily got her chance to dance and that I didn't spend the rest of my life alone." Wendy's eyes glistened with unshed tears. "I'd like to think so," she whispered. "Either way, I'm grateful." On Christmas Eve, 6 months later, Tyler proposed to Wendy in the very community center where they'd first met, with Lily as his co-conspirator, holding the ring box behind her back until the perfect moment. As snowflakes drifted past the windows and the old piano in the corner played "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," Tyler knelt before Wendy on the worn linoleum floor. "You brought dance back into our lives when we needed it most," he told her, his voice husky with emotion. "You believed in us when we'd stopped believing in ourselves. Wendy Evans, would you do us the honor of becoming a permanent part of our family?" Lily stepped forward, presenting the ring box with a flourish worthy of her ballet training. "Please say yes," she added. "Dad's been practicing this speech for weeks, and I don't think he has a backup plan." Wendy laughed through her tears, looking from father to daughter with undisguised love. "Yes," she said simply. "Yes to both of you, to all of it." As Tyler slipped the ring, a simple solitaire that had cost him 3 months of savings, onto her finger, Lily threw her arms around them both, creating a family circle that felt, to Tyler, like coming home. They were married the following spring in the community garden, with Lily serving as both flower girl and junior bridesmaid, insistent on having two roles to match her two special outfits. Tyler's construction business had secured enough regular clients that he'd hired 2 employees, and Wendy had expanded the scholarship program to 3 additional community centers across the city. At the reception, held in the Prima Dance Academy's new community space, Lily surprised them with a solo she had choreographed herself, a dance that told the story of their family, the loss, the struggle, the unexpected joy of new beginnings. As Tyler watched his daughter dance, his wife's hand clasped firmly in his own, he marveled at the journey that had brought them to this moment. From a struggling single dad rushing late into a dance recital to a man with a growing business and a heart full of love, all because he'd happened to sit next to the right woman on that fateful day. Later, as they swayed together during their first dance as husband and wife, Tyler whispered in Wendy's ear, "Thank you for seeing something in us worth believing in." Wendy's arms tightened around his neck. "Thank you for showing me that some things are more important than corner offices and board meetings. You and Lily taught me how to balance ambition with love." "And we're just getting started," Tyler promised, spinning her gently under the twinkling lights that he had hung himself above the dance floor. As midnight approached and the celebration showed no signs of winding down, Tyler found himself standing at the edge of the dance floor, watching as Wendy twirled Lily around, both of them laughing with abandoned joy. His father appeared beside him, clapping a hand on his shoulder. "Rachel would be proud," he said simply. "Of all of you." Tyler nodded, emotion thick in his throat. "I think so too, Dad. So what's next for the Thompson family?" his father asked. Tyler smiled, his eyes never leaving Wendy and Lily. "Living our happily ever after, one day at a time." And as Wendy looked up, catching his eye across the room with a smile that still made his heart race, Tyler knew that despite all the struggles, despite the loss and the hard years of just getting by, life had given him a second chance at happiness, one that had begun with a dance recital, a seat next to a stranger, and a little girl who refused to give up.